ज्योति स्टेनो टाइपिंग कॉलेज में आप सभी बच्चों का स्वागत है। बच्चों, ये 100 WPM डिक्टेशन क्लास चल रही है। जिन भी विद्यार्थियों का 100 की स्पीड का इंग्लिश डिक्टेशन का टेस्ट है या 100 प्लस 120 तक का है, तो ये क्लासें उनके लिए बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट हैं। इस क्लास डिक्टेशन को सुने अच्छे से, और ये वेबसाइट है jyotistenotypingcollege.com। इस वेबसाइट पे जाके अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन कर लें। एडमिशन फॉर गवर्नमेंट जॉब ओनली के नाम से बटन है। उस बटन पे जैसे मतलब भी आप क्लिक करोगे तो वहाँ अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन कर सकते हो, खुद से यूज़र नेम पासवर्ड वगैरह बना सकते हो। फिर स्टेनो कोर्स के अंदर इसको मंथली या ईयरली जिस तरह भी आप लेना चाहो ले सकते हो, और इन डिक्टेशनों को टाइप करके अपनी एक्यूरेसी जान सकते हो। तो मैं पढ़ने जा रहा हूँ डिक्टेशन नंबर 4। कोशिश रहेगी स्पीड 120 के आसपास। डिक्टेशन स्टार्ट आफ्टर 5 सेकेंड। Sir, then comes the question of prices that have to be controlled. The greater the production, the greater will be the supply, and the greater the supply, the prices will come down to a particular level. We have to see that the prices do not go down beyond a level which has to be kept. For this purpose, I would suggest that at least 4 things which are very necessary for an ordinary human being should be given at a very fair, reasonable rate within the reach of the common man in the country. For example, take food grains. This suggestion could not be implemented earlier because we had to import food grains from outside, and very often even the food grain was not available. For example, if in Andhra and Kerala rice was not available, that could not be supplied. Happily, we are in a position to do that, and we should so arrange that supplies that every individual gets enough quantity of food grain according to his need. If that is done, and if everybody gets what he wants, black marketing will go and people will feel confident that they would get whatever they want at a certain fixed price, which should be within the income limit of ordinary men. That should be at least one commodity which should be available to everybody in every part of the country. The second commodity which a man wants is clothing. Many sick mills have been taken over by the National Textile Corporation. We have taken over about 40 mills. Let these mills produce 2 or 3 kinds of cloth which should be available at a certain fair rate to everybody who wants. And that could be for gents and ladies saris, dhotis, kurtas, etc. of the medium quality, which should be available to everybody at a certain price, so that the price does not rise up, putting the common man in hardship. Sir, if somebody wants to show his greatness for the sake of greatness, or he wants to spend more, or he wants fashionable clothes for the sake of show, let him do it. It does not matter, but an ordinary man, a common man, a man with an average earning should be in a position to fulfill his needs of clothing from these textile mills which we have taken over. Third item is the edible oils or fats. It is one essential thing for human life. The fourth item is housing. We have been telling all these years as to what we want to give to the people: food, clothing, and housing. In spite of very huge irrigation and power projects that we have started and we have completed, in spite of millions of acres of land which have been brought under cultivation, we were not self-sufficient in food and therefore supply of food was not possible. We have now been fortunate enough to get enough food, sufficient food which can go round the country and keep the prices under control. Mr. Deputy Chairman, sir, I listened with the attention and respect that is due to the President the address that was given by him yesterday. The presidential address contains government's policies and its attitude to various problems and is also a narrative of the achievements so far. Our victory against Pakistan is no doubt an event of which we can be proud, but let us not forget that this is not the first time that we have taught Pakistan a lesson. In 1947, they invaded Kashmir and were pushed back. I wish they had been pushed back further. In 1965, they again invaded our country and invaded Kashmir, and we pushed them back. These three short conflicts are glorious record of our army. I am sorry to say that people in government seem to take too much credit for these victories. I say instead the credit should rightly go to our Jawans and our armed forces, to our young officers and men. I wish the address of the President had taken a humbler tone in regard to the achievements of the government in this respect. We must bring to the fore and highlight the great sacrifices made by our Jawans in the battlefield. Sir, I am one of those whose friends and relations have lost their lives in the last two battles, and I have felt personally involved in both the conflicts of 1965 and 1971. What a glorious achievements our Jawans have made, even though they have not been given that amount of praise and recognition which should have been given in 1965 and today. Sir, the full story of the Battle of 1971 war is not much known. I wish it were written in letters of gold, though we had to withdraw in that sector a few miles. There was a force of 3 battalions only which was ordered to march and advance on that sector to attack the Pakistani positions. These 3 battalions, unknown to our command, were pitted against a whole brigade supported by a large number of tanks and an armored corps. This powerful Pakistani army appeared to be overwhelming in strength, but orders went out that our troops should stick to their position, whatever the consequences. There have been innumerable acts of bravery which we do not seem to remember today. It is all right for us to pat each other on the back, but I may tell you that if we do not really recognize the merit of our Jawans and give them their right place, and our debt of gratitude is adequately expressed in this house and outside, we will not be rightly served by our armed forces in future. They are a patriotic people, and even then they will gladly make sacrifices for the country whenever the need arises. But I want that instead of giving kudos to ourselves, we should give due praise to our Jawans, the wonderful younger generation. इसकी भी स्पीड जो है 120 ही रही है, ये भी 8 मिनट और 11 सेकंड में पड़ी गई है। 992 वर्ड है, तो लगभग उतना ही बनेगी ये, 120 के आसपास। कितनी लिखी गई? 80%। आपसे आउटलाइन कैसी है? तो वेबसाइट पे इसको लगा दिया गया है डिक्टेशन नंबर 4 के नाम से। इस क्लास के अंदर इतना ही बच्चों। नमस्कार।